Hey, this is Reginald Perryman with ReggiusRealEstate.com. Today I want to talk to all the tenants out there. So here's the reality. There's a great chance that your landlord will be selling the property in 2021. The reason being is because a lot of people, mainly investors, purchased homes back in 2008 through 2012 when the market was down. In some areas, the rental rates have only increased maybe by $100 or $200, but the market value of those homes have doubled or tripled in some areas. For example, I was just looking at Oak Park. Homes my investors brought back then for $30,000 to $40,000 are now selling for $160,000. The rental rates were between $900 to $1,100. Now they're between, $1,000 to $1,300 per month. So a lot of landlords are looking to sell this year. So as a tenant, what can you do? So my first suggestion is if you're comfortable with the property and you like the area, maybe it's time to really consider buying the property. The advantage to you and the landlord is the convenience. For you, you don't have to go out into the rental market and find another property. It is extremely difficult right now for tenants looking for properties to rent. In addition to that, because market values have increased, the rental rates are starting to increase. The application process, I'm seeing landlords and property managers, their application process is just like getting a loan to buy the property. So another reason it's an inconvenience for a lot of people to find rental properties and for landlords, while a lot of landlords are selling, is because all of the eviction bans that were going on over the past year or so in different cities and different states, some landlords were unable to collect rent, so they're selling for financial reasons. But you got to keep in mind, all of those people, whether they were good or bad tenants, the landlords were unable to relocate those people via eviction, or the people just simply move out. So those are properties that you would normally go out into the market and see available. Well, those properties aren't available. With all the eviction bans and with all the scrutiny in the market, landlords and property managers are even more careful who they accept as a tenant. So if you're currently in the market, if you're currently actually in a property, you're comfortable with that property, one, see if you can qualify to buy it. The landlord is likely to probably give you a discount because if they're not using a realtor, they can save the money that they would pay a realtor and just sell it to you direct. Or if you go back out into the rental market, just be prepared that it's going to be just as difficult to find a rental property as it is going out to buy a property. Another reason it's beneficial to buy the property that you're in is because you don't have to get out here with the sharks. The buyer's market competition is extremely crazy. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, take a look at your lease agreement. If you have a lease agreement that ends at a certain term, so if you had a term lease agreement that says, maybe from April to April of 2021 or June of 2021, whatever that date is, whoever buys the property, depending on how your lease is structured, will have to honor that lease term. So you don't have to move prior to that date, the end of that term. If you're on a month-to-month rental agreement, then that's completely different. So I would say have a conversation with your landlord. Be a little proactive and just reach out to your landlord and say, hey, have you considered selling your property? If so, I'm interested in buying it. Or if your landlord has contacted you about selling the property, that's your chance to try to buy it or have a discussion, because a lot of times these properties will sell to other investors who will keep you on as a tenant as well. So just have that conversation with the landlord, be proactive, but keep in mind, if you can afford it, you're paying on time and you're comfortable with the property, maybe you want to consider buying. I hear it all the time. People have been renting properties I've been renting this home for 8 years but I don't want to buy it because this is not a place I see myself owning. Well, if you've been there 8 years, you probably paid a third of the property off anyway. So, that's a conversation to have with your landlord. I just want you to be aware so you're not surprised when there's a yard sign in front of your property or the landlord is contacting you to start scheduling showings and inspections on your property. This is Reginald Perryman with ReggiusRealEstate.com. Feel free to reach out to me for any professional advice because a lot of times people are getting bad information in real estate. You're listening to other people or you got your emotions involved. So just come to me. Don't ask your neighbor. Don't ask the friends you hang around. Get professional advice from Reginald Perryman, ReggiusRealEstate.com.